Benjamin Netanyahu's life and career are a study in contrasts, a blend of calculated resolve, political acumen, and a relentless pursuit of Israel's security and global standing. Raised in a home steeped in history and Zionist ideals, Netanyahu's formative years were shaped by both intellectual rigor and personal tragedy. The shadow of his older brother Yonatan, a celebrated Israeli commando who fell during the famed Entebbe raid, loomed large, instilling in Benjamin a sense of duty and an unyielding commitment to his nation's defense. Netanyahu's youth in the United States endowed him with a unique global perspective. Navigating between the worlds of American suburbia and Israeli resilience, he developed a sharp fluency in English and a keen understanding of Western political discourse. These experiences would later serve him well on the international stage, where he often acted as Israel's most convincing advocate. His early adulthood was defined by military service in Sayeret Matkal, Israel's elite special forces unit. Here, Netanyahu partook in daring operations, including the high-profile rescue of hostages from a hijacked Sabina Airlines flight. The discipline, courage, and strategic thinking honed during these years became hallmarks of his leadership style. The crucible of combat left an indelible mark, shaping his worldview around the centrality of security, a theme that would echo throughout his political life. After completing his service, Netanyahu returned to academia, enrolling at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. His studies in architecture and management, coupled with a brief stint at Harvard, equipped him with analytical tools and a technocratic outlook. Yet it was not the world of business or scholarly pursuits that beckoned most powerfully, but rather the tumultuous and high-stakes arena of Israeli diplomacy. In the 1980s, Netanyahu emerged onto the world stage as Israel's ambassador to the United Nations. At a time when Israel faced mounting criticism and isolation, Netanyahu's eloquence and assertiveness captured international attention. He became known for his mastery of media, skillfully defending Israel's interests and denouncing terrorism and anti-Semitism. His tenure at the UN was as much about substance as it was about style. Netanyahu understood the power of narrative, and he wielded it with precision. By the late 1980s, Netanyahu's political ambitions led him back to Israel. He quickly rose through the ranks of the Likud party, demonstrating a formidable blend of charisma and strategic savvy. In 1996, in the wake of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin's assassination, and amidst a climate of fear and uncertainty, Netanyahu secured a narrow electoral victory against Shimon Peres. At just 46, he became Israel's youngest-ever prime minister. Netanyahu's first term was turbulent. He adopted a hardline stance towards the Oslo Accords, expressing skepticism about their prospects for lasting peace. While he engaged in negotiations with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat and signed agreements like the Wye River Memorandum, his government was often criticized for stalling the peace process. Domestically, Netanyahu faced constant coalition challenges and fierce opposition, resulting in a fractious political environment. By 1999, the pressures proved too great. Facing mounting unpopularity, Netanyahu lost the prime ministership and retreated from public life, seemingly consigned to political exile. Yet the story of Benjamin Netanyahu was far from over. The early 2000s saw Israel rocked by the Second Intifada, economic turmoil, and shifting regional dynamics. In this context, Netanyahu made his political comeback, serving as finance minister under Ariel Sharon. He championed sweeping economic reforms, privatizing industries, reducing welfare, and fostering a climate of innovation. These measures, though controversial, helped lay the groundwork for Israel's emergence as a startup nation. In 2009, Netanyahu reclaimed the premiership, embarking on a record-breaking 12-year run that would redefine Israeli politics. His second era as prime minister was characterized by a relentless focus on security. He ordered military operations against Hamas in Gaza, fortified Israel's borders, and invested heavily in missile defense systems like Iron Dome. Critics accused him of fostering division and perpetuating the conflict, while supporters lauded his unwavering commitment to keeping Israelis safe. On the diplomatic front, Netanyahu demonstrated both pragmatism and boldness. He deepened ties with rising powers such as India and China, and, most notably, engineered the Abraham Accords, a series of normalization agreements with the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. These groundbreaking accords shattered long-standing taboos in the Arab world and marked a new era of regional cooperation. With Netanyahu at the center of the diplomatic breakthrough, his relationship with the United States fluctuated with the winds of Washington. Netanyahu's tenure saw moments of tension, particularly with President Barack Obama, over issues ranging from West Bank settlements to the Iran nuclear deal. Netanyahu's vehement opposition to the Iran agreement culminated in a dramatic speech before the U.S. Congress, underscoring his willingness to challenge even Israel's closest allies when he believed core interests were at stake. Conversely, Netanyahu found a staunch ally in President Donald Trump. The Trump administration recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital and moved the U.S. embassy there, actions lauded by Israelis and condemned by Palestinians and much of the international community. Netanyahu's government also annexed parts of the West Bank, further entrenching Israeli control and sparking global controversy. Throughout his long tenure, Netanyahu was a polarizing figure. His supporters viewed him as a protector, someone who elevated Israel's status on the world stage, fortified its economy, and safeguarded its people. Detractors saw in him an architect of division, accused of undermining democratic institutions, stoking fears, and entrenching occupation. By 2021, Netanyahu's grip on power began to slip amid corruption investigations, mass protests, and growing resentment among former allies. Yet, even as he faced the prospect of political defeat, Netanyahu remained a towering presence, his legacy woven into the fabric of Israeli society. Benjamin Netanyahu's journey is one of resilience and reinvention. From soldier to statesman, from exile to dominance, he has left an indelible mark on Israel and the wider Middle East. His legacy is still being written, a testament to the enduring complexities of leadership, identity, and power in one of the world's most challenging arenas. Chapter 5. Political polarization, legal battles, and resilience. As Benjamin Netanyahu's grip on power tightened, so too did the divisions within Israeli society. Throughout his extended leadership, the country saw a growing rift between right and left, secular and religious, and Jews and Arabs. Netanyahu became a masterful political strategist, adept at forging coalitions, outmaneuvering rivals, and utilizing the media to his advantage. Yet, his leadership style, often described as combative and personal, fueled a sense of polarization that seeped into nearly every aspect of Israeli life. Netanyahu's critics accused him of undermining democratic norms and using fear to consolidate his rule. Supporters, however, saw in him a bulwark against existential threats, a leader who placed Israel's security above all else. This division was nowhere more apparent than in the streets of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, where protests and counter-protests became a regular feature of the national landscape. In 2019, Netanyahu became embroiled in a series of corruption investigations. Accused of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust in several high-profile cases, Netanyahu maintained his innocence, asserting that he was the victim of a political witch hunt. The legal proceedings cast a long shadow over his premiership, fueling public debate about the rule of law and the resilience of Israeli democracy. Despite the legal turmoil, Netanyahu continued to campaign vigorously, appealing directly to his base and leveraging his reputation as a seasoned statesman. Multiple elections resulted in political deadlock, as Netanyahu's Likud party and its rivals vied for control. Time and again, Netanyahu proved his resilience, managing to stay at the center of power even as the political landscape shifted beneath his feet. Chapter 6. International Diplomacy and the Abraham Accords. Netanyahu's tenure as prime minister was marked by a bold and ambitious approach to foreign policy. Recognizing the shifting currents of the Middle East, He sought to move beyond the traditional framework of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and forge new alliances across the region. The culmination of these efforts came in 2020 with the signing of the Abraham Accords. Brokered with the active involvement of the United States, these agreements normalized diplomatic relations between Israel and several Arab nations, including the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. The accords represented a seismic shift in regional dynamics, breaking decades of diplomatic stalemate and opening new avenues for economic, technological, and security cooperation. Netanyahu hailed the Abraham Accords as a testament to his vision and leadership, arguing that peace could be achieved through strength rather than concession. The deals were widely celebrated within Israel and among its new partners. However, critics argued that the agreement sidestepped the core issues of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and risked leaving the question of Palestinian statehood unresolved. Beyond the Middle East, Netanyahu cultivated relationships with emerging global powers. He strengthened ties with India and China, positioning Israel as a hub of innovation and technological prowess. At the same time, he maintained a close, sometimes controversial alliance with Russian President Vladimir Putin, navigating the complexities of Syria's civil war and Iran's regional ambitions. Chapter 7. The Iranian Threat and the 2025 Assault. No issue loomed larger over Netanyahu's career than the specter of a nuclear-armed Iran. From his earliest days in office, he warned the world of the dangers posed by Tehran's nuclear program, often using dramatic rhetoric and visual aids to make his case on the global stage. Critics accused him of alarmism, while supporters credited him with keeping the issue at the forefront of international diplomacy. For years, Netanyahu lobbied the United States and other world powers to take a hard line against Iran. He fiercely opposed the 2015 nuclear agreement, arguing that it failed to prevent Iran from acquiring the means to build atomic weapons. Instead, he championed a policy of maximum pressure, including covert operations, cyber attacks, and targeted assassinations, to impede Iran's progress. In June 2025, Netanyahu made his most audacious move yet. After years of escalating tensions and a long-standing vow to prevent Iran from going nuclear, he ordered a massive military assault on Iranian nuclear facilities. Over 200 Israeli aircraft participated in the strikes, targeting not only nuclear sites, but also missile and air defense systems and key military figures. The operation marked a dramatic escalation in the shadow war between Israel and Iran. Domestically, Netanyahu's decision was met with a wave of support, even from some of his harshest critics, who set aside other grievances in the face of a perceived existential threat. Internationally, the move sparked intense debate and concern over the possibility of a broader regional conflict. While the immediate objective, to degrade Iran's nuclear capabilities, was achieved, questions lingered about the long-term consequences and whether the strike would permanently alter Iran's ambitions. Chapter 8. Legacy and Controversy. Benjamin Netanyahu's enduring legacy is one of both remarkable achievement and persistent controversy. To his supporters, he is a visionary leader who secured Israel's place on the world stage, protected its people from grave threats, and forged new paths toward peace and prosperity. To his detractors, he is a divisive figure whose pursuit of power often came at the expense of unity and democratic principles. Netanyahu's impact on Israeli society, politics, and security is undeniable. He reshaped the country's foreign policy, steered it through wars and crises, and left an indelible mark on its institutions. His ability to survive and thrive in the tumultuous world of Israeli politics is a testament to his political acumen and unyielding resolve. Yet, his legacy remains unfinished. The questions he leaves behind about democracy, peace, security, and the future of the region will continue to shape the destiny of Israel and its neighbors for years to come. As history judges Benjamin Netanyahu, the story of his life and leadership stands as a powerful reflection of the challenges, complexities, and enduring spirit of modern Israel. From the battlefields of his youth to the corridors of power, Netanyahu's journey is that of a nation constantly striving to define itself in a changing and often unpredictable world.